chapter 159, 160, and 161 came out in like a matter of like what 2 days, 2 or 3 days, or some shit like that. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about all three of them, man. I'm gonna do a shorthand version first, and then I'm gonna just talk about them in depth. But 159 was the Discipline Squad showed up. Minato and his Sekirei are there, and Natsuo was just like, hey, this shit done turned into a battle royale now because the defense mechanism has went down and whatever. Like Katakota Island is not even invisible anymore, so whatever. It's an all-out war now. It's just a battle royale, it's a free-for-all. There's no such thing as matches. So that shit was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be very, very interesting, you know. And Biggie Tsubasa was saying that she's going to, fight Minato Sekirei, and she tells Katasuba to stay out of it, and Katasuba is ignoring her completely. And Hahane is just kind of like, well, it must be because she defeated number 87. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, I expected Katasuba to win, you know what I'm saying, against 87, but Katasuba looks fucked up. So I was like, I wasn't expecting that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't expecting her to look as fucked up as she did. Like, her, like, she looked completely fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, her face is all fucked up and shit. I'm like, wow, like, 87 got in that ass. But then it shows, I can't remember what to do with that. Nishi. It shows Nishi. And, he's like half frozen and shit. And, Sekirei frozen. And I was tripping because I was like, wow, they actually picked up in that fight. I totally forgot about that dude, man. I totally forgot about him. I was like, who the fuck is that? Like, when I saw him, I was like, who is that? I had totally forgot about him. But, yeah, like, his Sekirei frozen, and he's, like, calling out to him, and he's like, hey, is anybody all right? Is anybody all right? And Akisu is nowhere to be seen. You cannot see Akisu. So I can only assume that Akisu is dead. I can only assume that. And Mikogami is down in like the like arena thing that all the Sekirei were housed in. You know that little chamber where you see all the little pods and you see the big one that Mia was in. That's where he fell down to, and Mutsu was standing like over him, and Mutsu was kind of bleeding, or whatever. And Mutsu goes to explain, he's like, hey, like this is the first time that like outside of the ones who found this out, this is the first time that Ashikabi has been inside of this place. About that, and as he's explaining that shit, fucking Minaka comes in the room. I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, what the fuck is he doing here? You know? And Minaka comes in, and Minaka explains the situation that the system has failed, it's no longer up, so the island has now shown up on every fucking radar, and people are coming there. You know what I'm saying? The island was invisible to like most machines, and now it's not, so everyone's showing the fuck up. And I was just kind of like, god damn, like the military was gonna show up, man, because they were killed. You know what I'm saying? Like the military people had been killed on that island, so yeah, they're gonna show up and want some type of retribution for what the fuck happened to their fallen comrades and stuff. So when I read that part, I was just like, oh shit, man, this might be bad for everybody involved in this particular situation. And I was also interested in the fact that Minaka showed up. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought that Minaka also, I know he's the game master, but I thought he also had to participate in the game. So seeing him outside of like a battlefield, you know what I'm saying, it was weird to me. Like it was weird to me to see that shit. I was kind of like, that's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't understand, like, in that instance, what's going on, but, it was weird to me. And then it cuts back over to the fight right now is going on between Homura and Biggie Tsubasa. And because Homura and Kasehana had been, like, fighting and had released their Norito, like, prior to this chapter, they're kind of weak right now. So, Homura and both Kasehana are, like, struggling, you know what I'm saying, to like get their, their fights going on and to like hold out and all that type of stuff. And Biggie Tsubasa is like really going like full force on Homura. And I never did like this shit. I never did like how the Discipline Squad fights, you know what I'm saying? Because like they always, I don't like characters who just comes out of nowhere and try to fight a bunch of weak characters and shit You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't like that shit though, man. Especially because like Beni Tsubasa seems to have some bit of pride to her character, because she's like, I can't admit defeat. I don't stand good in the face of defeat and all this bullshit, but you're fighting weakened people. You know what I'm saying? Like Konosuba has the same sort of fucking like mentality. Just like, I want to fight Yume Musabi. You know what I'm saying? I want to fight you no matter what condition you're in. It's like, you don't want to wait for her to mature and get the strength that Yume had to fight. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was weird. So when Beni Tsubasa was fighting Homura, and I was just like, oh man, she winning. But I expected it because he was weak, or it was weak. So I was just kind of like, man, you know, fuck this girl. And then Musabi showed up and kicked the fuck. She kicked the fuck out of Beni Tsubasa, and I was just like, you cannot get any better than that. That was so awesome to see this bitch just get kicked right here. I mean, like right there. I was just like, fuck yes, dude. Fuck yes. And that's how 159 ends. So 159 in a nutshell was explaining the battle royale situation, and it was also explaining that the island can now be seen. You know what I'm saying? So because it's seen, it can now be seen, and the military force is on the way, these fights are more than likely going to have to get wrapped up very, very, very quickly. So on one end, it's like, okay, this shit about to hit its like ultimate climax. You know what I'm saying? It's cool as shit. But on the other hand, it's sad as fuck because it's reaching its ultimate climax. Sekirei chapter 160 was pretty much the setup chapter that was going to display the fight between Konosuba and Musabi. It also gave kind of a little bit of a history lesson, because Manga Panda kind of fucked this translation up, or maybe I read it wrong because I'm confused about something. But Yume is explaining her title as the Sekirei of Fate, and the way Manga Stream did it, I mean Manga Panda did the shit, it was like pretty much she is called the Sekirei of Fate because she can't be winged. Like that's the way it was. That's how I interpreted it on Manga Panda. It sounded like they were saying that Yume couldn't be winged. Like she didn't have that capability of being winged. You know what I mean? So she called herself Fate because like she wanted to bring people together. You know, the Sekirei and the Ashikabi who were fated to be together. She wanted to be responsible for helping the little birds grow because she couldn't. So I was like, I don't know if that was a translation error. I'm gonna have to wait for the actual volume and shit to come out. But I was like, what? Like she couldn't be winged? Is that what you're saying? And she was that fucking strong. So that was a weird piece of fucking dialogue there. But after that, it pretty much just showing Konosuba's face, and Konosuba is kind of feeling. It seemed like she's feeling down. I don't know if she's feeling bad because of how much she had to struggle against number 87, thinking that she was probably going to wipe the floor with her, but it shouldn't happen that way. And she's kind of feeling like, why is my strength, like, why, well, she, like, Konosuba was probably thinking, why hasn't my strength increased since Yume has been gone? Like, Yume's been gone, and I should be, like, one of the strongest, but I'm not. It's like, these newbies are coming in and sticking with me, so maybe that's what she's going through right now, some internal struggle, you know, about her own power and her own perceived weakness or whatever. And again, Musabi showed up in the last chapter, and Konosuba turned around and she sees Musabi, and she's like, Yume. And I was just like, oh shit, it's about to get real, you know. And the shit, like this chapter pretty much ends with Musabi rushing Konosuba. It's like, hey, let's go ahead and get this fight situated. This is going to be between you and me, final fight. And then like, the whole time I was like, okay, maybe Yume has taken over. But she's like, no, I'm number 88. I am Musabi. And this is the final fight between the two of us. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And that's how this particular chapter ends. Chapter 161 of Sekirei was my favorite of all three of the chapters that got released, because 161 showed the like history of like Yume giving up her core so that Musabi would be able to live. But we already knew that. I didn't care about that. It showed Konosuba's reaction to it, that's the part that fucked me up. Like, she really was gonna kill Moose, but she was like, no, fuck this. There is no way. There is no way I can live knowing that Yume gave up her core for a weakling like you. Like, she was pissed off. And when I read that shit, I was like, you know what? If that's your rival, I can see why you would have that type of reaction to that. You know what I mean? Like, that would be like two sports rivals. You know what I'm saying? If one of them just all of a sudden retires. It's just like, no, man, fuck that. We didn't even have a last game, and you just quit. So I understood her reaction toward it. I was just kind of like, yeah, I can see why she would be pissed off, you know what I'm saying, about Yume giving up her core, you know, dying now, and dying so that a weaker person could live on. But at the same time, I feel like Katasuba would have never understood whatever lesson she's trying to be like taught right now if Yume had still been alive. And Yume still technically is around because she's inside of Musubi, so, you know, but if she had actually physically been there, I feel like Katasuba would have never, like, because right now, like, with this fight, she's going to eventually learn what Yume meant about, you know, being winged and feeling love and stuff, man. She's going to eventually feel that shit. And it's going to have to come at the hands of defeat. Like, that's the only way she's going to be able to do it. And I'm hoping that it's not going to make her delusional and crazy or shit like that because she's gotten, you know, beat by someone who looks like Yume. I'm hoping that, you know, because she has been beaten by someone who was perceived as weak, and Musubi is just like so much love, and I can only have this much power because of love and all that shit. I hope that Katasuba finally understands, like, okay, maybe love can give a person this much strength. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was cool to me. And I also like that Minato has gotten so much character development as a man that I'm just like, fuck yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is just baller. I like how his character has progressed. It was one particular line he said, because it was really about Tsukumi was like, Musubi, no, don't fight her by herself. Like, this is the discipline squad, and she was about to go help her. But Minato grabs Tsukumi's shoulder, and he's like, no, this was a promise between them two that they were gonna fight once they reached this point in the game. Don't stop them. I want to read exactly what he said, because I was like, yeah, like, he has really progressed into becoming a man instead of the scared, timid character that he was when the series first started. So let me get to this line real fast, man. I'm sorry about holding y'all up, man, but I just want to read the shit that he said, because I thought it was just, you know, some brilliant shit to say. Where is it? Okay, right here. Tsukumi says, I'll back you up. Minato grabs her, and then he says, that fight is Musubi's promise. Don't get in her way. And Tsukumi says, but Minato is number 4 she's fighting. She might die. That's what she was about to say. And Minato is shaking. You see his hand is shaking. And he's like, but this is her wish. A wish that risks her life. If I don't see it through, I'm not fit to be an Ashikabi. When I read that, I was like, fuck yes, Minato. Like, dude, you have progressed so much as a character that I'm just proud. Like, I am seriously proud of this character for progressing as much as he has. Like, I couldn't believe that he progressed that much, you know what I'm saying, from being a timid little pussy to being a stand-up guy right now, man. So that was awesome and shit. And then, like, after that, you see, fuck, now I can't remember her name. I just said her name in, like, the last few videos, and now I can't remember her name. Hold on. Hahane. Hahane is kind of looking over, and she sees Tsukumi. And there's a somewhat rivalry between them two. Not on Tsukumi's part necessarily, but on Hahane's part, there's a little bit of a rivalry there. And she looks, and she's like, you know, fuck that, I'm about to go rush on and shit. And she kind of goes away from fighting one of Higa's Sekirei or whatever, and she tries to, you know, do some shit. And then Higa picks up his phone, and he calls that guy, Kazi, I think is his name. He calls that guy, and he's like, listen, can you fire that missile one more time? And dude's like, yeah, but because the system is down, we can't actually pinpoint like a real location. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can hit the island, can't pinpoint an exact location, but we can hit the island. And I was just kind of like, what the fuck is Higa doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? And he says, fine, go ahead. If I get wiped out with it, it doesn't matter. Your target is the Discipline Squad and North. And fuck, I've always hated his character, and I hate him even more now. Just when I thought he got a little bit of redemption, by accepting, you know, his Sekireis and seeing how they fight for him, and I was like, okay, maybe he's like slowly becoming the definition of an Ashikabi. No, he does this. It's like, dude, if you get, like, if they shoot that island, your Sekirei will die too. But it seems like you really don't give a fuck about that. Your grudge is with Minato. Get off Minato's dick, or at least renew the lease, bro. Because you are pissing me off so bad that I hope that missile misfires and only shoots you, and in some type of miracle fashion, nobody else dies. Not even your Sekirei. Because Higa is the most worthless character in the series. The most useless. The most useless. More so than that old man that Minato ran his first dorm from. I put Higa below that guy. Higa pisses me off. But overall, these 3 chapters were the shit. 159, 160, 161. Easily the best shit I've read this week. Easily the best thing I've read this week. I mean, besides what happened to Doflamingo and One Piece, but that's another shit. But easily the best chapters I've read this week. All of them were fucking good. All of them well drawn, of course. The art style in this shit is just always amazing. And the fight sequences were good because they weren't fucking far away. When Musabi was fighting Konosuba, when fucking Bennett Tsubasa was fighting Musabi, Bennett Tsubasa fighting Homura, all of these fights are close, so you can actually see their technique. It's not some far away shit, and that's what I like. You know, Naruto fights are kind of drawn far away. Bleach fights, for the most part, are drawn far away until they actually have, you know, a bit of like sword play. But other than that, it's drawn far away. So this one, I was like, fuck yeah, it's drawn close up, and that's awesome. I like that, man. Let me know what you thought about the Sekirei chapters. Are you sad that it's about to end? Because it obviously is going to end. Musabi's fighting Konosuba right now. Obviously, it's going to end. Everyone knows that Minato is Minaka's son, and Minato himself knows it now. It's obviously going to end. Who do you think the final 2 are going to be? Wouldn't it be an ironic twist of fate if the final 2 were Musabi and Tsukumi? That would be so fucked up. That would be fucked up because they have to fight. Like, they would have to. They would have to fight anyway. Let me know what you think about the chapter. Let me know what you think about the series as a whole. Let me know if you've seen the anime, both seasons. Let me know if you read the manga. Vash Stampede. Signing up. So, it's a flashback, and Yume is talking to Konosuba, and Yume is explaining why she... What? What'd you say? Oh, shut the hell up then. I don't give a fuck. I just said shut the hell up. And